So we're going to go into the book of Proverbs. This is a Bible study session. I'm just going live with everybody for a Bible study session. Truly, I need help to continue to read the Bible in this time, and maybe other people need help as well too. So this is the beginning of a live stream session where we're going to look at the Bible together. The truth is I just need help reading the Bible. I keep wanting to read the Bible. I know I'm supposed to read the Bible, but I keep procrastinating when it comes time to read the Bible. So I'm thinking that if I start to make this into a normal routine of inviting other people in, then I'll be more motivated to actually read the Bible. So I figure why not start with Proverbs, because Proverbs is a book of wisdom. Proverbs is a book of wisdom, and this is something that can benefit all people, truly. Learning about wisdom, studying wisdom and knowledge, and Proverbs for life, how to live righteously, instructions of righteousness, all these different things. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1, the beginning of knowledge. So Proverbs starts off like this: the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple. Right? Prudence is like caution, careful, persistent work, diligent work, to give prudence to the simple, caution and careful, persistent work to the simple. To the young man, knowledge and discretion. Discretion is like to be discreet, is to like withhold certain information for the right purposes, knowing when to speak and when not to speak. That is discretion, using discretion. So what we just read here basically is the Proverbs of Solomon. The Proverbs that Solomon wrote were to help us to understand the words of understanding, those who are wise to understand their words. Also so that we can receive instructions of wisdom, so that we can understand the instructions that wisdom is trying to give us. To understand justice and judgment and equity, which is like fairness and equality. To give prudence to the simple, to help us to make good decisions, how to be cautious and careful in our decisions, how to add caution and wisdom to those who are simple, which is me. And then to give the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, enigmas like riddles, in case anybody doesn't know these things. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So this is all about helping us to grow wiser, to understand the words of wisdom, which come in riddles, enigmas, dark sayings, hard to understand sayings, hard to understand. Beginning off, we learn that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise these things. I'm going to actually use a highlighter on this. I'm going to start off by highlighting this. Do my highlighters, do a yellow, plain yellow highlighter. The proverb of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction. Oh boy, it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. There we go. That was weird. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. I'm going to highlight that one. A wise man will hear and increase learning. A man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles, the fear of the Lord. Let's highlight that one. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise instruction. All right. We basically just highlight everything on this one. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity. I'll also just highlight that one too. Just highlight the whole thing. I feel like this whole thing is important because this basically gives us the foundation of what we're reading. This tells us exactly what we're getting into when we read the book of Proverbs. Shun evil counsel. That's the next part. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head, and chains around your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. I'll highlight that right there. If sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those who go down to the pit. Sheol is hell, so let us swallow them alive like hell. And whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. Now this is the speech of the wicked. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. This is how they speak. Right here. This is how they speak. If sinners entice you, do not consent. Do not consent. That's an instruction right there. Here's the other instruction. Do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head and chains around your neck. If sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. So if somebody tells you these things, we're supposed to not walk with them. Do not walk in their path. Do not walk with them. Do not go with them. Do not heed to their voice. That's the instruction right there. For their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. but they lie in wait for their own blood. I mean, that's kind of interesting right there. It says that in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. I feel like saying, like, when the bird sees the trap, they don't walk into it, right? But these people set the trap for themselves. They lie in wait for their own blood. They set the trap for themselves and they walk into it. That's foolishness. The bird sees the trap being set and it doesn't walk into it. But these people set the trap themselves and they walk into it. It's foolishness. So we're taught that we shouldn't do that. They lurk secretly for their own lives. Oh. It's not working. There we go. But they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. Greedy for gain. If you are greedy for gain, it takes away the life of its owners. So do not walk in the ways of evil people. Do not consent with them. Do not agree to have one purse when the intentions are to do evil to somebody, to gain riches, money, whatever. Do not do those things. The instruction is to walk away from that, go a different direction. Moving on, we're going to go down to the call of wisdom. The call of wisdom. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in the chief concourses. She calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. This is where wisdom's voice is found. At the openings of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Scorners delight in their scorning. What is scorning? When you scorn somebody, that's like when you scold them, I think, right? That's like when you scold them or when you yell at them or reprimand them for something. Let's go ahead and look that up. Let's look that up. Oh boy, what's going to pop up here? All right, Google. Define. The feeling or belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. Contempt. So scorners love. All right, so let's read what this says. So this says, for scorners delight in their scorning. Scorners, people who love to make people feel less than them or worthless, delight in this. That's what it's saying. They delight in these things. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? That is considered to be a simple person when you act that way. That's simplicity. Fools hate knowledge. So you know a fool by somebody who hates knowledge. That's a fool, according to the Bible. Turn at my rebuke. Turn at my rebuke. That's an instruction right there. Turn at my rebuke. Surely I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded. So that's an instruction right there. You know, I feel like we should actually make instructions a different color and make identifications a different color. When God is identifying something for us, we should make that a different color, I feel like. But anyways, the cool thing about Solomon is that he was the wisest person to ever live on this planet. And here we have his proverbs of life, keys to life, right here in the Bible. The wisest man to ever live, aside from Jesus, of course. But before Jesus came, there was Solomon. And God made him the wisest man to ever walk the planet. And here we have a chance to learn from him. That's a beautiful opportunity. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded. Because you disdained all my counsel and would have none of my rebuke, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would have none of my counsel and despised my every rebuke. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled to the full with their own fancies. For the turning away of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell safely and will be secure without fear of evil. Look at that right there. That's the instruction. There's so much to that. I have called and you refused. Boom. Right there. I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded. You disdained all my counsel. You would have none of my rebuke. This is wisdom talking. Wisdom is saying you would not listen to wisdom. You would not, I was speaking to you and you did not want to listen to what I have to say. Therefore, because you also hated what I had to say, right? It goes on to say, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Listen right here. This is it right here, man. This is it. I can highlight it. There we go. Highlight. This is it right here. People say they know God. They say, oh, we know God. God loves us. He would never allow us to go through hurtful things. And yes, I know I mess up. And did you turn away from these things? Did you choose better paths for your life? Because right here it says, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me. Why? Why, Lord? Why? Why will you laugh at us when we're suffering? Because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Then he says, they would have none of my counsel and despised my every rebuke. That means that God is rebuking people. He's rebuking them, and he's saying, turn at my rebuke. Change your ways. At my rebuke, turn and change your ways and do what pleases him. And if you do this, you will find life. You will find the right way to go. But if you refuse to listen and you continue on, even though I have rebuked you in your life, you have received my rebuke. And you still refuse to listen, I will laugh at you when your troubles come upon you. And I will mock at you. I will mock you when your terror comes. And when you call upon me, I will not answer, because you didn't answer when I was calling to you. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. I guess for me, the hardest thing that I want to question is, well, how did we know that God was rebuking us? Right? Like, if it says right here that you would have none of my rebuke, how do we know if the Lord is rebuking us? How do we know? What do you guys think? What's the answer to this? How do we know if the Lord is rebuking us? I think these are certain questions that we have to consider, and we have to start diving into and start asking ourselves, because what if the Lord is rebuking us and we're ignoring it? If so, we're setting ourselves up for a bad future according to his word. But if we can gain the knowledge and the understanding of how God speaks, and if he's speaking to us, then we can do the things that pleases him, and we can set ourselves up for a better future. Because then it goes down here to say, therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled to the full with their own fancies. Now, if your way is a way of violence or anger or, retaliation, revenge, things like that, then eventually, because you have chosen your own ways instead of God's ways, you will have to eat the fruit of those ways. You will have to eat what those ways produce in your life. And they will be filled with their own fancies. What they have chosen is what they're going to receive. That is what God is saying. Or what the Spirit of wisdom is telling us that God is going to tell us. We will eat the fruits of our deeds. If it's fear, you'll eat the fruits of fear. Whatever you choose, God chooses for us life and love, peace and holiness. And then we can eat those fruits if we follow that. But if we choose to follow ways of our own ways that we believe is right, things of pride, things of selfishness, then we will eat the fruits of those, and God will allow us to eat the fruits of those. And when we cry out to him because we don't like how those things taste and we don't want to keep eating that, it doesn't matter. It'll be too late, because he'll say, I've already told you to turn from that. I've called out to you and you ignored me. So now when you call out to him, he's not going to answer. For the turning away of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. The complacency. I believe complacency is like to basically be okay in the position that you're at. So basically, as I'm trying to understand what this sentence means, I believe they're saying the complacency of fools, the at peaceness, the at restness of fools, right? To behave like a fool and to be okay with it is what's going to destroy them. But at times we are all foolish. We do foolish things. What I'm believing the key to this is not to be complacent in foolish behaviors, but do something about it. When you perceive that you're behaving like a fool, change and turn and gain wisdom and understanding and do something about it. Change the way that you're behaving. Learn how to behave as a man who is not so naive, as a man who is not so foolish and making foolish decisions and mistakes in their lives. Because if you live in that, it will destroy them. That's the instruction right there. The complacency of fools will destroy them. The turning away of the simple will slay them. Right? Turning away from the words of knowledge will slay them. Turning away from the truth will slay them. And then the last part right here, but whoever listens to me, whoever listens to God, whoever listens to wisdom, right? Because again, this is the voice of wisdom speaking, but God is, as the Bible says, he alone is wise. He says that for him, God is all about wisdom. He created the earth through wisdom. So when we say this is the voice of wisdom, we're also saying that this is one of the spirits of God that is essentially important. It's like listening to wisdom is the same as listening to God at times. Whoever listens to me will dwell safely and will be secure without fear of evil. If we listen to the voice of wisdom, then we will dwell safely. Remember that, therefore they shall eat the fruits of their own ways, and they will be filled with their own ways, their own fancies, whatever they choose. But if we listen to wisdom, we will eat the fruit of wisdom, and then we will dwell safely. And then we will be secure, and there will be no fear of evil. Now, I think that's a big one because evil is so dominant in this time that we're in right now. And one thing that people are so bothered by is how much evil is all around us. And we have so much fear of evil at times. We don't want evil to touch us. We don't want evil to come to our door, right? But it's written right here. If we listen to the voice of wisdom, we don't have to fear evil. We will be free of worrying about evil or evil touching us because we'll be making decisions that lead us away from evil, not towards evil. When you act as a fool, when you behave as a man who is foolish, selfish, deceiving, unrighteous, mean, cruel, filled with cursing and anger and all these different things, you're moving closer and closer to evil. And then you have to be worried about evil touching you because you're living with evil. You're inviting evil into your life. But if you listen to wisdom, walk with understanding, walk with God, you're moving further away from evil and you have less and less of a fear of evil coming to you because evil does not dwell with God. It cannot come into his presence. The demons are afraid of God. They shudder at his presence. Right? So the closer you get to God, the less you have to worry about evil. And that is your way out. And that is our study of Proverbs for today. That's actually Proverbs 1. That's the whole chapter. So that's our instructions. I hope that somebody got something out of that. It wasn't much of a Bible study, I know, but it's the beginning. This is the first time we did this. So I hope that this does help because this helped me to actually read my Bible. Not only do I feel good for reading my Bible, I feel good because I got to talk about the things that are in this Bible. I've read the Bible many times, but I haven't had so many people to share what I learn through the Bible. And so hoping that this will create a response of people to actually want to read their Bible as well, to get further into God's word, and to seek God while there's time, because he's so good and he wants a relationship with us. He's reaching out to us. It says all throughout the word, he's reaching out to us. In your life, there are times where he's reaching out to you, and I don't think that people really realize when those times are. They don't realize that that was God reaching out to you. You thought it was just a feeling. You thought it was this. It was actually God trying to get your attention. And you don't want to ignore that, because then terror and calamity will strike, and he won't be there when we cry out to him at that point. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good night. I'll probably do another live Twitch stream sooner or later. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing next. We got podcasts we're working on, and we got some other things. But whenever I do go live, there will be a notification in the Discord. Oh, that's the other thing, the Discord. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to know when we're going live and other things. This is for the Bible study. And I have multiple platforms that God has allowed me to operate in right now. And whenever I go live in them, they're all different things. Some are TikTok, some are Instagram, some are YouTube, some are, Reddit, just all these different things. And if you want to be a part of that, wherever we go, feel free to join the Discord, and you will see whenever we go live anywhere else, or whenever we post anywhere else. A lot of posts in different places, different social medias. So I look forward to everybody who's joining. I'll leave the Discord link on my Twitch channel, and I hope you guys have a great day, a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye. Good night.